All right, Josh is starting us off for Highballers. Grandma the shortstop for the first out. Yeah, Wade up. I'm sorry. It's Dave, isn't it? Strike one. Caught by the shortstop for out number 2. Now have Charlie up. Strike one. Caught by the center fielder for the third out. Oh, they got a single. A runner on. They got their first out. They got a double play. All right, Highballers are up. Brian's up. He's on top of the second. Strike one. Single to center field. Now have Brian on first and Josh is up. You have no outs. In for strike one. It's a double play. We have Dave up, out number 2. You have no one on. Strike one. Ground ball the pitcher for the third out. From the bottom of the second. Still 0-0. Kane zones up. The first out by shortstop. Hazo now has out number 2 for the second baseman. K-Zone now has 2 outs. Batter up has 1 strike. Now they have strike number 2. He hits it to the second baseman for the 3rd out. Highballers are up and Charlie's up. It's 0 for 1. We're in the top of 3. Foul ball, strike 1. Might get in the gap. Caught by the right fielder. Get Brian up. He's been 1 for 1. In for strike number 1. Home run by Brian. Highballers now have 1. K-Zone nothing. We have Josh up, an 0 for 2. Got 1 out. In for strike number 1. Strike number 2. Ground ball to second base for out number 2. I have Dave up. 2 outs. No one on. Strike number 2. It's a ground ball to third base for out number 3. K-Zone has 1 out. Caught by the shortstop. Batter number 2 has strike 1. Caught by the right fielder for out number 2 for K-Zone. Caught by the third baseman for out number 3 for K-Zone. Highballers Charlie is up for 0. He's 0 for 2. You're in the top of 4. Highballers 1, K-Zone 1, 0. Strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. The ground ball to shortstop for out number 1. We have Brian up, 2 for 2, and 1 RBI. In for strike number 1. Foul ball, strike 2. Ryan now has 2 strikes. That one was caught by the center fielder for out number 2. Josh is up, 0 for 3. Top of 4. 2 outs. In for strike 1. He got it in for a single to center field. All right, Highballers now has a runner at first. 2 outs. In for strike 1. That one got through for a single. Now have runners at first and second and 2 outs. Charlie's up. Saying it right. All right, Charlie. You have runners at first and second and 2 outs. In for strike number 1. See if he gets through. It got through for a single. That runner brought a runner in, sorry. Now have 2 runs for Highballers. 2 outs. Runners at first and third, and Brian's up. Brian needs to give us another home run. And 2 for 3 and 1 RBI. In for strike 1. Did it get through? Got through for a single to center field. Brought in another runner. Highballers now has 3. We have Josh up. We have runners at first and second and 2 outs. In for strike 1. Got a single to center field. Brought in another run. Highballers now has 4. We have Dave up from 1 for 4. We have runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Dave. Freeman. In for strike 1. Caught by the shortstop for out number 3. Highballers brought in 3 runs in the 4th inning. They are now Highballers 4, K-Zone 0. K-Zone just got a double. K-Zone now has a runner on second. No outs. Coach stands on strike number 2. Last strike removed. Apparently it was a foul. All right, that was caught by the second baseman for the first out. Got 1 out for K-Zone 1. We have Fred up. Foul ball. Caught by the shortstop for out number 2 for Zone 1. Got a strike 1 on him. You got a single. Now you have runners at first and third for Zone 1. Have Andied up, who's been 1 for 3. Still have 2 outs. Strike 1. Caught by the first base for third out. Save that run, guys. We have Charlie up. Charlie's been 1 for 4. Got an RBI. We're in the top of the 5th inning. In for strike 1. Out by the center field for out number 1. Brian Epp has been 3 for 4 and 2 RBIs. Strike 1. Oh, foul ball, strike number 2. Was out to the shortstop for out number 2. Now have Josh up. 2 for 5 and 1 RBI. That might got it through. You got a single at center field. All right, Dave's up. He's been 1 for 5. Needs to bring Josh in. You have 2 outs. Runner at first. In for strike 1. 0 for 1.
That's down.
Hot center fielder for out number 3. K-Zone's up, Coach Dan. K-Zone just got a single. Fred's up, he's been 0 for 3. Got strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. They just removed the last. They just removed the last foul ball. Double. Now you have runners at second and third and no outs. 4-0, Highballers. No, we got runners on second and third. You have Doug up. He's ground ball to second base for first out. Gonna catch it. He's out at center field. K-Zone now has 2 outs. K-Zone got one of the runs in. Now 4-1.
Yes, sir.
We have 2 outs. Runner at third. A double to center field. I brought in another run. K-Zone now has 2. Highballers score. 2 outs. Runner at second. 1 strike. 0-1. Another double. Brought in another 2 runs. K-Zone now has 3. Highballers 4. 2 outs and a runner at second. Ground ball to first base for the 3rd out. K-Zone brought in 3 runs. The bottom of the 5th. Highballers now have 4. K-Zone 3. Charlie's up. And 1 for 5 and 1 RBI. In for strike 1. Gonna get through for a single in center field. Brings up Brian. 3 for 5 and 2 RBIs. Got a runner at first and no outs. Strike 1. We got a double in center field. Brought in a run. Highballers now have 5. K-Zone 3. Runner at second and no outs. We have Josh up. He's been 3 for 6 and 1 RBI. Out to second base. Didn't make it quite through. Now I have Dave up. From 1 for 6. We have a runner at second and 1 out.
Yeah, kill it.
We're in the top of the 6th. It's in for strike 1. Get through. Is he gonna get through? Out by the center field for out number 2. Still have a runner at second. We have 2 outs. We have Charlie up to bat. He's been 2 for 6 and 1 RBI. That's in for strike 1. Oh, foul ball. Strike 2. All right. Highballer's going to hold him. We're the bottom of 6. Highballers 5. K-Zone 1, 3. We have Andy up, who's been 1 for 5. Got strike 1 on him. Did he get through? Got through as a double. Now I have runner at second. You have Coach Dan. He's been 2 for 5. Got strike one. It's that one for a single. Now have runners at first and third and no outs. You have Fred up, who's been 2 for 5. Make it through. Pitch it. It's a single to center field, and Met gets a runner in. Post game, now we have Highballers 5, K-Zone 1, 4. And no outs. Need a double play here. A double. No. K-Zone just took the lead. 6. Highballers 5. Have a runner on second. Andy, who's up, has been 2 for 6. Looks like they called the game. K-Zone 1, 6. Highballers 5. Out by the second baseman for out number 2. In for strike 1. That got through for a single to center field. Now I have a runner at first. We have Dave up. 2 outs and a runner at first. In for strike 1. Caught by the left fielder for the 3rd out. We have Cole up for the Old Dogs. That's in for strike 1. Ground ball to first base for out number 1. We have Matt up. It's caught by the third base for out number 2. We have Curtis up. That's in for strike 1. So they get through. His ground ball to second base for the 3rd out. We have Clutch City up. We have Caleb. We're in the top of the 2nd. Been 0 for 1. Ground ball to the catcher for out number 1. We have Steven up.
Still playing?
They just started. It's a single.
I walked off on. Yeah. Did you really?
And Marcelo up. He's been 1 for 1. He's got 1 out and a runner on first. Is he going to get through? Foul ball, strike 1. It says foul ball, strike 1, but it has David. You want me to remove it? You want me to remove it? Yeah, okay, all right. Clutch City's got 2 outs and 1 on first. That's your first strike, right? What are they doing? It now has old dogs up. I know, right? What's going on here? I'm confused. He got robbed. He got robbed. He got robbed. I know. I could have removed that last one. All right. I was willing to. All right, looks like we have Brian up for Old Ducks. We're in the bottom of the second. It's in for strike 1. That one's a fly ball to shortstop for out number 1. We now have Craig up. All right, Craig's up. That's in for strike 1. It's in for strike 2. To get through. Ground ball to second base for out number 2. We have Cole up. An 0 for 1. Left-handed batter. It's a ground ball to first base for out number 3. We have Caleb from Clutch City up. Been 0 for 2. We're in the top of 3. Clutch City is 0. Old Dog 0. Clutch City has a couple of hits. The double to center field. You have Steven up. He's been 1 for 2. Your runner at second and no outs. Ground ball to shortstop for out number 1. And Marcelo up. He's been 1 for 2. He's got 1 out. And you have a runner on second. You're going to get through. Single to center field. Got through. Now have runners at first and third. And 1 out. We have Dave up. Dave's been 0 for 2. That's in for strike one. Pop out the second baseman for out number 2. Still have runners at first and third, and Caleb's up. He's been 1 for 3. Needs to bring those runners in. Gonna get through. He's a single to left field and brings in a run. We now have runners at first and second and 2 outs. We have Steven up. He's been 1 for 3. That's in for strike one. He's got a double to center field. Brings in another runner. We now have runners at second and third. We have Marcel up. He's been 2 for 3. He's got 2 outs. That's in for strike one. Does it get through? That's caught by the center fielder for the 3rd out. Fletch City brought in 2 runs. Old Dogs is up. We have Matt. It's been 0 for 1. The bottom of the 3rd. Is it going to get through? In for a triple. Now have Curtis up, and he's been 0 for 1. We have a runner at third and no outs. That's in for strike one. Grab ball to third base for out number 1. We have Brian up. He's going to get through. Strike one. Strike two. Foul ball. Tried. All right, we have Craig up. It's been 0 for 1. We have 2 outs. You get one. Yeah, you get 1 foul ball. That's in for strike one. That's what the hit track rules say. Ground ball to shortstop. Got David up. All right, David's been 0 for 3 today. And then top of 4. Pledge City now has 2. Old Dogs have 1. That's in for strike one. Caught by the center fielder. Out number 1. We have Caleb up. He's been 2 for 4. 1 RBI. They're going to get through. That's caught by the center fielder for out number 2. We now have Steven up. He's been 2 for 4 and 1 RBI. Caught by the pitcher for the 3rd out. Old Dogs are up. We have Cole. We're in the bottom of the 4th. He's been 0 for 2. That's in for strike 1. Ground ball to first base for out number 1. We have Matt up. Been 1 for 2. Old Dogs have 1 run, 1 hit. That was caught by the right fielder for the out number 2. We have Curtis. He's been 0 for 2 and 1 RBI. We have 2 outs, no one on. That's in for strike 1. Makes it in for a single to center field. We now have Brian up. He's been 0 for 2. We have a runner on first and 2 outs. Strike 1. Fly ball to shortstop for out number 3. We have Marcelo up for Clutch City. Been 2 for 4. We're in the top of 5. Clutch City has 2. Old Dogs have 1. Clutch City's had 6 hits, and Old Dogs have had 2. That's in for strike 1. Caught by the center fielder for out number 1. Dave's up for Clutch City. He's been 0 for 4. You have 1 out and no one on. He's going to get through. Ground ball to second base for out number 2. You have Caleb up. He's been 2 for 5 and 1 RBI. Single to center field. They got through. We have Steven up. He's been 2 for 5 and 1 RBI. We have a runner at first and 2 outs. So going to get through. Single to pass the shortstop. You now have runners at first and second and 2 outs. Marcelo is up. He's been 2 for 5. Gonna get through. Got through for a single to center field. Brought in a runner. David's up. He's been 0 for 5. You've got runners at first and second and 2 outs. In for strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. Caught by the center fielder for 3rd out. Old Dogs are up. We have Craig. Been 0 for 2. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Clutch City has 3. Old Dogs have 1. That's in for strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. There's a ground ball to the pitcher for out number 1. We now have Cole up. He's been 0 for 3. That's in for strike 1.
Team back by.
The ground ball to second base for the 2nd out. We now have Matt up. He's been 1 for 3. The Old Dogs have had 2 hits, 1 run. They're going to get through. They're caught by the center fielder for out number 3. Clutch City's up. We're in the top of the 6th. Caleb's going to start us off. 3 for 6 and 1 RBI. They've had 3 runs, 9 hits. Was caught by the center fielder. We have Steven up. He's been 3 for 6 and 1 RBI. We have 1 out. It's in for strike 1. Foul ball, strike 2. Foul ball. A single to center field. Marcelo's up. He's been 3 for 6 and 1 RBI. You have a runner on first and 1 out. So gonna get through. The double to center field. We now have runners at 2nd and 3rd. You have David up. He's been 0 for 6. You have 1 out. A single. We have bases loaded. We have Caleb up. He's been 3 for 7 and 1 RBI. We've got 1 out. It's a double to center field. Brings in 2 runs. You have Steven up. 4 for 7 and 1 RBI. Still have a runner at 2nd and 1 out. Clutch City now has 6 hits. Sorry, excuse me, 6 runs, 13 hits. And for strike 1. Ground ball to second base for out number 2. Now have Marcelo up. Still have a runner at second and 2 outs. Then for strike 1. In for a double. Brings in another run. Clutch City now has 7. You have David up. He's been 1 for 7. You have 2 outs. Caught by the right fielder for the 3rd out. Clutch City now has 7. Old Dogs have 1. We're in the bottom of the 6th. You have Curtis up. 1 for 3 and 1 RBI. In for strike 1. Ground ball to the pitcher for out number 1. We have Brian up. He's been 0 for 3. Old Dogs have had 1 run, 2 hits. They're going to make it through. Nope. Ground ball to first base for 2nd out. Now I have Craig up. Says strike 1. Look a little low. Ground ball to shortstop for out number 3. Clutch City wins 7. Old Dogs 1.